हा जो लाईफ सायकल आहे त्याच्यामध्ये फिटस आहे की नाही. सो व्हॉट टाइप ऑफ द चेंजेस आर डन ड्युरिंग द प्रेग्नन्सी. सो देर इज अ वन ऑफ द टाइम टेबल, त्याविषयी आज आपण स्टडी करणार आहोत. ठीक आहे. So the timetable of some events during the pregnancy. प्रेग्नन्सी मध्ये त्या ठिकाणी कोणकोणत्या प्रकारचे चेंजेस होतात आणि इन द विदिन द 9 months. ओके, सो प्रेग्नन्सी टेक्स नियर अबाउट द 9 months फॉर द बर्थ ऑफ द child. Okay, so that's why the period is divided into the events. So we call as the events. त्याला आपण events असं म्हणतो. Okay, so what type of the events are found in the pregnancy? Timetable of some events during the pregnancy. Okay, so in this, during the pregnancy events, the human gestations. What do you mean by the human gestation? It's a type of the guest. Okay, so he is the guest. Okay, newborn baby is the guest. Human gestation. It can be divided for convenience into 3 trimesters. Okay, for convenience into 3 trimesters. याचा अर्थ काय की फोर कन्व्हिनियन्स चार प्रकारचे त्या ठिकाणी डिवाइडेड इंटू कन्व्हिनियन्स इंटू 3 ट्रिमिस्टर्स. ट्रिमिस्टर्स याचा अर्थ काय, आपण जसं सेमिस्टर म्हणतो की नाही, सेमिस्टर्स म्हणजे 2 प्रकार, फर्स्ट सेमिस्टर आणि सेकंड. तसं इथे काय म्हटलंय, ट्रिमिस्टर्स असं म्हटलं म्हणजे 3. सो 3 trimesters आर देअर, मीन्स दॅट इज ऑफ अबाउट 3 months, means 3 + 3 + 3, total 9. So in the 9 months, there are the 3 months divided into 3 durations. Okay, so that is called as the events. In this, the timetable of some events during the pregnancy. Number one, first trimesters. Okay, first trimesters means month one, month second, and month third. So during the first 3 months, what type of the changes are found in the pregnancy, in the fetus? Okay. So in the first trimester is the main period of the organogenesis. Okay, so that is the development of the embryo. Okay, so that's why it is the first period or first step for the development of the first step, that is the organogenesis. The development of the body organs. So the body organs of the fetus develop, or it starts to develop slowly, slowly, slowly. Okay. So what happened in the first month? In the first month, in human beings, after 1 month of the pregnancy, the embryo's heart is formed. So you can have to make screenshot. What type of the changes in the first month? In the first month, the fetus form the embryo, and that is the fetus embryo. It formed the heart. So heart is formed. सुरुवातीला हृदय त्या ठिकाणी तयार होतं. Heart is formed in the first month. So because it is a very important organ. Okay, that's why the heart is formed and it starts the pumping. Okay. In the second month, what happened? In the second month, the fetus develop. Fetus means that embryo. The fetus develop limbs and digits. पाय त्या ठिकाणी तयार होतात थोडेसे, आणि डिजिट्स त्यांनी तळवे तळवे आणि त्याचे बोट वगैरे, ठीक आहे, त्या ठिकाणी डिजिट्स असे तयार होतात. लिम्स अँड डिजिट्स बाय द एंड ऑफ द सेकंड मंथ. सो आफ्टर द एंड ऑफ सेकंड मंथ, द सेकंड मंथ starts to end. So that time what happened? Limbs and digits are totally developed. So in the first month, development of the heart, and in the second month, development of the limbs. Okay. Then what happened in the third month? In the third month, most of the major organ systems are formed. Organ systems, different types of the organ involving in the system, respiratory system, digestive system, etc. Okay. For example, the limbs and the external genital organs are well developed. External genital organs are also well developed. Nose, eyes, whatever may be. Okay, so that is called as the external genital organs are well developed by the end of the 12 weeks. It means the first trimmer, this will be end. So after the third month, there is a end of the, or there is a develop the such types of the organs, hearts, then digit, then limbs, and then external genital organs. Okay, so reproductive organ, you can say. So this is the end of the first trimesters. Okay, first month, second month, and the third month. So this is the completion of the first trimester. Okay. Next, in the first trimester, there is a movement of the fetus and appearance of hair on the head. So there is a starting the appearance of the hairs. We can say in the 24 months. So what type of the changes? Hairs are forms here. Okay, and usually observed during the fifth month. And they observe during the fifth month. After the fifth month, it will be shows the hairs on the head of the fetus. By the end of the 24 weeks, the second trimester will be starts. Okay, by the end of the 24 weeks, the second trimester will be starts. The body is covered with fine hairs. So we can see here there are the fine hairs, small hairs are there. So it will be covered fine hairs. Then eyelids also develop, eyelids, and they get separated. Okay, eyelids get separated. There is a first stage is the it's a closed eyelids. Okay, and then after the 24 weeks, the eyelids should be open or separated, and eyelashes also forms. Okay, eyelashes सुद्धा त्या ठिकाणी forms होतात. Then, by the end of the 9 months of the pregnancy, that is the third trimester, the fetus is fully developed. तिसऱ्या trimesters मध्ये त्या ठिकाणी काय होतं? Fetus is totally developed. So this is the fetus which will be shown a full development. Okay, and it is ready for the delivery. So after the complete development, the fetus is ready for the delivery. So what period it requires? 3 plus 3 plus 3 means 9 months. Okay. Then one MCQ is after the month of pregnancy, embryo develop. After the 1 month of pregnancy, embryo develop. Just we observe right now. Heart. So in 1 month, the heart develops. So this is the starting point to develop the heart to the fetus. Okay. Then parturitions. Okay, next term is the parturitions. What is meant by the parturition? The parturition is nothing but it's a deliver of the childbirth. Okay, parturition means a deliver of the childbirth. So childbirth begins with labor, a series of strong rhythmic uterine contractions. So actually what happened in this, the contraction of the uterine will be starts. So contract and contract. The uterus get contracted and contracted. So because of the contraction of the uterus, the fetus, that is the newborn baby, will be pushed towards the, there is the point push the fetus and placenta out of the body. So it will be start to push out of the body. Okay. This process of delivery of the fetus childbirth is called as the parturition. So this situation called as the parturition means actually what happened in the parturition, a series of strong rhythmic uterine contractions also done and push the fetus or placenta out of the body. So this process is called as the parturition. Okay. Then next, the parturition is induced by a complex neuroendocrine mechanism. So what is meant by the complex neuroendocrine mechanism? The signals for parturition means when the parturition starts, some signals are there, and that signals it originate from the fully developed fetus. That signals totally transfer towards the brains. So brains can again give the response to signal towards the various body organs. So okay, so the fetus it will be starts to send the signals, and that signals after sent by the fetus after it fully developed. So development is important. So after the fully development, it will be starts. And the placenta which induces mild uterine contraction. आणि प्लासेंटा मध्ये काय होतं त्या ठिकाणी थोड्याशा प्रमाणामध्ये कॉन्ट्रॅक्शन्स होतं आणि मग हळूहळू ते पुश त्या ठिकाणी होत जातं त्या ठिकाणी. ओके, देर मे बी अ माइल्ड कॉन्ट्रॅक्शन्स. ओके, सो the contractions is called as the fetal ejection reflex. त्या माइल्ड कॉन्ट्रॅक्शनलाच काय म्हणायचं, fetal ejection reflex अशा प्रकारचं, म्हणजे रिफ्लेक्स ऍक्शन त्याप्रमाणे प्रतिक्षिप्त क्रिया आपण म्हणतो त्याला. So that will be the reflected and push towards the push the fetus towards the outside of the body. So just it will be starts and then it will be increase and increase contractions. Okay. Then this triggers This triggers release of oxytocin from the maternal pituitary. त्या ठिकाणी काय होतं, रिलीज ऑफ ऑक्सिटोसिन फ्रॉम द मॅटर्नल पिट्युटरी, आणि मग त्या ठिकाणी बर्थ ऑफ द चाइल्ड ऑल्सो विल बी डन. ओके, सो आउट ऑफ द बॉडी इट विल बी डन. ओके, then ऑक्सिटोसिन ऍक्ट्स ऑन द युटेरियन मसल्स. हे कुठे असतं, युटेरियन मसल्स वरती असं असतं, म्हणजे सिक्रिशन्स एन्झाईम सारखंच सिक्रिशन्स त्या ठिकाणी होतं. अँड बिकॉज ऑफ दॅट द मसल्स अँड कॉजेस स्ट्रॉंगर युटेरियन कॉन्ट्रॅक्शन. त्याच्यामुळे युटेरियन कॉन्ट्रॅक्शन हे काय होतं, हळूहळू त्या ठिकाणी वाढतं, आणि कॉन्ट्रॅक्शन वाढल्यानंतर ऑटोमॅटिकली काय होतं, the fetus will be comes out from the body. So contraction is very important. Okay, so because of the contraction it will be born. So contraction depends on the oxytocin. For example, some females the oxytocin is not released. So what happened, there is a difficulty for the pregnancy. Okay, so that is the situation. So oxytocin is very important, which is turn stimulate further secretion of the oxytocin. आणि याच्यामुळे काय होतं, पुढचं आणखी त्या ठिकाणी सिक्रेशन्स आणखीन परत त्या ठिकाणी होतं, म्हणजे मस्क्युलर cells त्या ठिकाणी मस्क्युलर ऑर्गन्स मध्ये. ओके, there will be the secretions of the oxytocin is very important. Okay, the stimulatory reflex between the uterine contractions and the oxytocin secretion continue, resulting in increasingly stronger contractions. So continuously stimulation is there. So because of the stimulation, there is a reflex action between the uterine contractions and the oxytocin. So simultaneously oxytocin synthesis, oxytocin is will be present, and then contraction of the uterine also done. So these are the two processes independence. Okay. Next point is, this leads to expulsion of the baby out of the uterus through the birth canal. So what happens when there is a contraction here? So these parts and this part will be get contracted. Okay, so contracted, and then there will be a push baby towards from the body. Okay, towards the uterus, it will be comes from the uterus. Okay, so it will be starts to comes out. Okay, so birth canal. So this is the birth canal is there, and this from birth canal it will be comes out. Okay. Soon after the infant is delivered, soon after the infant is after the deliver, the placenta along with the decidua is called as expelled out of the uterus. Decidua, this is the first stage. In the first stage, uh, it comes towards the body near the canals, and then in the second stage it will be comes out. The head firstly comes out, and then in the third stage it will be bonds. Okay, so like this. Then the perturbation also cause, okay, fully developed fetus and placenta. Okay, so fully developed fetus and placenta, it gives rise to the fetal ejection reflex. Okay, so these are the steps. Firstly, development of the fully developed fetus placenta, then fetal ejection reflex. Then the posterior pituitary glands also forms, or they take part in the process of the perturations. Okay. Then next is the oxytocin enzymes also it will be forms to contraction of the uterines. So then बंद है आवाज, माइक 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 बंद करा, माइक चालू आहे. Oxytocin will be synthesis. Okay. Then the stronger uterine contractions also done. Okay. The stronger uterine contractions cause the expulsion of the baby through the birth canals. So like that, the stronger uterine contractions is greater, the expulsion of the baby through birth canals is very easily. Okay, so there is no problem for the delivery. So like that, all the situations are must be favorable. Okay, so then we can say the persuasion is the process, it is successfully done. Okay. Next, one MCQ. The process of childbirth is called as. So this is the word belongs to the zoology, means it's a biological words. The process of childbirth is called as. We commonly called as the delivery. Okay, so in the biological world, there is a parturitions. Parturition is the word for the childbirth. Okay, that's the process. Next is lactation. Lactation term used as the lattice. Lattice means formation of the different liquefied substances. Some hormones are there, some enzymes are there. So during the pregnancy, many enzymes, many hormones are there. Synthesis, they are secreted by the various tissues, and then they helps in the pregnancy also and for the development of the fetus also. Okay, so what do you mean by the lactations? One aspect of the postnatal cares, one aspect of the postnatal care that is called as the unique to mammals. हे mammals मध्ये आहे. ठीक आहे. Unique character of the mammals is lactation. So the lactation after the birth, what happened? Before the birth, the child require the various lactation. So after the lactation formation, it will be developed. But what happened after the birth of the fetus? Okay, so birth of the fetus, it will comes out from the female body. Then what happened? Unique mammals is the lactation, the production of the mother's milk. So female start to produce the milk for feeding the newborn's baby. Okay, so there is a requirement when the fetus or that newborn baby is present in the body of female. So that time the female can that is the female, it is able to provide the all materials. Okay, through the cord. But after the birth, the cord will be cut down. Then it is necessary to feeding the newborn baby with the help of the lactation, and that lactation called as the milk, mother's milk. Okay, the hypothalamus signals the anterior pituitary to secrete prolactins which stimulates the mammary gland to produce the milk. आणि सिग्नल मिळाल्यानंतर काय होतं? हायपोथॅलॅमस त्या ठिकाणी सिग्नल्स प्रोव्हाइड करतं, and there is a formation of the prolactin which stimulates. प्रोलॅक्टिन काय करतं? स्टिम्युलेट काय करतं? The mammary glands to produce the milk. The mammary glands start to produce the milk. Okay. Then in response to sucking, माईक चालू झाला वाटतं कोणाच तरी. क्लिक म्हणजे सर्वांना ऐकूया ना. In response to sucking by a newborn, as well as the changes in the estradiol levels after the birth. आता याच्यामध्ये काय असतात? वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारच्या काही लेवल्स असतात त्या ठिकाणी. ओके, यामध्ये काय होतं? वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारच्या लेवल्स त्या ठिकाणी तयार होतात, आणि या लेवल्स मध्ये काय काय होतं? पहिल्या फर्स्ट लेवलला त्या ठिकाणी काय होतं? फर्स्ट लेवलला रिस्पॉन्स बाय द सकिंग न्यूबॉर्न्स. First level response give the sucking of the newborn baby. It will be give the response. It means it will be starts to suck the blood, and that time the changes are the estradiol levels after the birth. Okay, so in this way there is a secretions of the milk like products. Okay, then the mammary glands of the female undergoes differentiations during the pregnancy and start producing milk towards the end of the pregnancy. Lactation, so lactation will be start to develop, and it is able, means the mammary gland is able to produce the milk, that is called as the lactation. The lactation helps the mother in feeding the newborn. So what lactation helps? So lactation is helps to mother to feed the newborn baby. Okay, so newborn baby feeded with the lactation. This is very important. So lactation, when we are feeding, it will be developed normally, no doubt. Then the lactation is also a type of the milk produced during the initial few days of the lactation is called as the colostrum. आता colostrum कशाला म्हणायचं? During the initial few days. Initial few days means what happened? 1 week, 4 days, 5 days, 7 days, or 1 week. So after the 1 week, there is a lactation in the form of colostrum. Colostrum च्या रूपामध्ये त्या ठिकाणी होतं. We will take the example, other example, that is in the cow, in the buffaloes. Okay, so in the cow and buffaloes, त्या ठिकाणी आपण काय करतो की सुरुवातीचे काही दिवस आपण ते दूध वापरत नाही त्या ठिकाणी, बरोबर ना? चीक वगैरे त्या ठिकाणी असतो, ते दूध आपण वापरत नाही, त्याचं वेगळ्या प्रकारे काहीतरी आपण करतो. ओके, so that contains the colostrum. So in the female also human being, there is also contains the colostrum. So it will be having the colostrum type, not a pure milk. Okay, so that colostrum is very important for the newborn baby. तर त्यामुळे काय होतं, न्यूबॉर्न बेबीमध्ये त्या ठिकाणी इम्युनिटी पॉवर, दॅट मीन्स द अँटीबॉडीज विल बी डेव्हलप and it will work near about 24 years to 25 एवढ्या वर्षापर्यंत त्या ठिकाणी अँटीबॉडीज ते वापरले जाऊ शकतात, म्हणजे कोणत्याही रोगाचा त्या ठिकाणी धोका नसतो. सो दॅट कोलेस्ट्रॉम इज व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट फॉर द न्यू बॉर्न बेबी. ओके. The colostrum contains several antibodies, IgA. त्याला आपण काय म्हणतो, IgA, absolutely essential to protect the newborn babies from initial source of infection. त्याला कोणतेही इन्फेक्शन होऊ नये याच्यासाठी ते कोलेस्ट्रम्स इन द फॉर्म ऑफ द मिल्क त्या ठिकाणी त्याला दिलं गेलं पाहिजे. ओके, सो दॅट इज द व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टन्स. द ब्रेस्ट फिडिंग ड्युरिंग द इनिशियल पिरियड ऑफ इन्फंट ग्रोथ. इन्फंट आपण शब्द का वापरला इथं, इन्फंट म्हणजे न्यूबॉर्न बेबी. ओके, इन्फंट. इनिशियल पिरियड ऑफ इन्फंट ग्रोथ is recommended by doctors for bringing up a healthy baby. डॉक्टर काय रिकमेंड करतात की हे प्रकारचं दूध त्या न्यूबॉर्न बेबीला म्हणजेच इन्फंटला त्या ठिकाणी दिलं पाहिजे, फिडिंग केलं पाहिजे. त्याच्यामुळे काय होईल, इट विल बी हेल्दी, इट विल बी डेव्हलप नॉर्मली ऑल्सो हेल्दी बेबी. ओके, दॅट इज द इम्पॉर्टंट. द इनिशियल मिल्क प्रोड्यूस आफ्टर द पर्च्युरेशन इज कॉल्ड ॲज इनिशियल मिल्क. इथे आलं ठीक आहे ना, इनिशियल मिल्क प्रोड्यूस आफ्टर द पर्च्युरेशन. त्या ठिकाणी बर झाल्यानंतर काय होतं, कोलोस्ट्रम हे सुरुवातीला तयार होतं 1 आठवड्यापर्यंत कोलोस्ट्रम्स. ओके, सो रिमेंबर दिस टर्म. So this is also asked in the tomorrow's test maybe. Yeah, so tomorrow we will take a test.